Alright, the wait is over. We have set up and we are ready to go. The Super Mario Sunshine race any percent between Basten and ShadowFrost with Dutch and commentary. Good luck, guys. I'll throw it over to you.
All right, good evening, good day for those across the pond. How are you all doing? I am Dutch J, and with me are ShadowFrost and Busta, and these boys are going to hopefully have a very exciting race for Super Mario Sunshine. So let's get this thing going because we've got some cutscenes to watch. All right, in 3, 2, 1, go! All right, yeah, lose those memory cards. Okay, so both players opting to take it safe here, starting with their memory cards inserted. Now, I have to say this is a smart move because you never know what happens in a marathon setting with this game. I know that I've definitely had some close calls before when attempting no resets on my stream. But yeah, so Super Mario Sunshine Race. I do believe this is the first time that Super Mario Sunshine has been ran at BSG by someone other than myself. So, and it's a race too, which is really great. Yeah, these guys are actually quite evenly matched, if I do say so myself. Busta relatively recently bopped ShadowFrost, so right now we've got the best Dutch player, second best Dutch player, third best Dutch player, all on one couch, which is pretty amazing. But yeah, we're hopping into Airstrip here, just a little bit of movement. Let's see if we can catch any differences. Looks mostly the same, I think one of you guys was a little bit late on the start. There's a small difference, so yeah. Airstrip, not very exciting. We get a bunch of cutscenes, and we have subtitles, because both of these guys are playing on Italian, which is the fastest language on the Italian version, or, sorry, on the PAL version of the game, which has 5 languages. Italian text is a bit faster. And yeah, with Italian text, the PAL version is about the same speed as the Japanese version of the game. The American version of the game being around 10 seconds slower. So not a lot of version differences here, at least for any percent. Sunshine really loves its introduction. There's 3 separate cutscenes here for a combined runtime of about 6 minutes. Tutorial, of course, being extremely important. So, you know, you can't really blame Nintendo. Oh, wait. Yeah, I can. Why can't we skip this? You don't even want to know how many hours of my life I've wasted. And these guys have as well. And so has everyone who speedruns this game. And, you know, it doesn't make you very happy. But the game is so freaking amazing that, you know, we take it in stride. All right. So here we've got the first polluted piranha fight. And immediately, I am seeing a small difference in strats, but it looks like you guys are about the same speed. Busta keeping his relatively small lead that he had. Yeah, this fight's straightforward. Really not a lot of execution involved beyond the very beginning when you gain control of Mario, because as soon as you've sprayed the plant, all you have to do is just keep spraying him. With the later versions of this mini-boss, we're going to see that you actually have to time your sprays. For this guy, it doesn't matter. You can just keep spraying him, and then he'll open his mouth, and he will get hit. All right, and with that, we are into the infamous courtroom cutscene. This is a big one. This one is 3 minutes long, which, yeah, not the greatest thing ever. There's been discussions for pretty much years now about, you know, do we want to skip the intro or not? Lots of different perspectives on this. Most of it boils down to the fact that if you want to skip the intro, you also have to skip the airstrip, which is a shine sprite, and it's also gameplay, which, you know, not everyone is in favor of that. But yeah, let's not go into that too much. So Isle Delfino has been polluted by the shadowy Mario figure, and we got to clean it up. So this game, in order to beat it, you actually you have to kind of complete the story. So there's 7 different worlds, and each world has 8 shine sprites, and you have to complete the 7th shine sprite in every world in order to unlock the final boss fight, which is quite different from a lot of the other 3D Mario games. Super Mario 64, as well as the Galaxy games, there's usually just a set number of stars that you need to collect before the final boss fight unlocks. In this game, it's not like that. There's just certain episodes that you have to beat. And most of the time, that means you have to play through the entire world, or at least most of it, to get up to the 7th shine sprite. But there are a few worlds where we can do some unintended shine skippage. So we will be seeing that in this run. So I want to beat the game as fast as possible. And those tricks, those skips are pretty neat. So stick around. You're not going to be disappointed. Let's see. What else is there? What else is there? Yeah. This game has a great community. There was recently a tournament on Speed Gaming, which was a lot of fun. A lot of people participated. I think it was 80 people participated in that. It was really cool. There has been some talk here and there about potentially organizing another tournament in the not too distant future. Possibly a bingo tournament. For those of you who have never experienced Sunshine Bingo, Sunshine Bingo is really freaking good. For those of you who don't know what bingo is, basically you have a bunch of randomly generated goals on a bingo card and you try to complete them in order to get a bingo. Oh yeah. Very cool. And the intro coming to an end here. We're going to be getting into the game proper. So from here on out, there's not going to be a lot of downtime anymore, at least not continuous downtime like this. Most of the downtime is just going to be in between shines, and there's a few cutscenes still, but they're not too long. So let's see how it goes for these guys. All right, I'm seeing some scumbag movement here from Basten. I doubt he saved a lot of time with that, though. Yeah, it doesn't look like it, but yeah, that is definitely faster going over the buildings there. If you do it properly, it can save up to a second. As you can see for this bloated piranha, both runners are timing their sprays, because if you spray this guy while his mouth is closed, you are not going to hit him, and it'll actually just play an animation during which he becomes invincible. So yeah, want to time your sprays. If you spray too early, it loses 2 seconds. If you miss a complete cycle, it loses 4 seconds. And like I said, there's a few minor cutscenes still in the beginning of the game. Here is Peach demonstrating her lack of intelligence, basically. That is not Mario. That is not Mario at all. No. Can you believe it? But yeah, Peach gets kidnapped, and in a stunning twist, Mario manages to save the princess immediately. Look at that. Wow. Perfect quick kill from ShadowFrost. Very nice. And a decent backup from Busted. That's going to even up the gap a little bit, I do believe. Or maybe not too much, actually. There's still about a second between these guys. Well, it's a close race in any case. All right, so right now we're going to see them enter Episode 1, but they're not going to be completing Episode 1. And this is actually the only instance of a shine being skippable in the game that was actually intended by the developers. They're going to head up straight to the windmill using one of the skeeter enemies, or spider, as most people call it. It's kind of a spider. It only has 4 legs, so it's not really a spider, but yeah. You can use them. If you spray them, you can bounce on them. You go really high. You can get all the way up to the windmill that way. And that guy over there, who's like dancing, you can briefly see him over on ShadowFrost's screen. He actually, if you talk to him, alludes to the fact that you're not supposed to be up here yet. So Busta having a little bit of trouble getting caught underneath the roof of the windmill. Ooh, all right. Manages to back it up that time. Good job. Yeah, that little lip has kind of a weird hitbox. You can get stuck under it. If you hover up into it, you can't move back anymore. So yeah, if you get stuck, you just gotta fall down. All right, we're gonna see the Piranha boss fight. Really just a slightly different version of the regular Pelota Piranhas, I guess. Still gotta spray him in the mouth, but you actually gotta spray him a whole bunch. But yeah, luckily, through the use of what we call the spam spray, you can kill this guy very quickly. So by pressing the R and the A button at the same time, you get this massive shotgun spray. And spamming that in rapid succession is what we call spam spraying. And you'll be seeing it in a few different places in the run. And it's really quite an overpowered technique. It definitely was not intended by the developers to be used in the way that we do in the speedrun. It's really useful whenever you need to rapidly clean goop, and in this case, also during this boss fight. So we'll be seeing that a fair bit more later on. See both runners setting up the shine grab by ground pounding in the spot where it's going to be. With that, we're heading into Bianco Hills 3. The Hillside Secret, and this is, like the name implies, a secret shine. Now, secret shines in this game are basically pure platforming levels. So whenever you're in a secret level, you have to basically enter some kind of doorway, and that will take you into secret proper, where Shadow Mario will show up, steal Flood, and then you're on your own. You got a platform to get a shine. And yeah, this little cutscene plays every time. We can't skip it the first time, but on every subsequent secret, we will be able to skip it. This secret being fairly straightforward. Literally, actually, you just move forward in a straight line, assuming everything goes according to plan. ShadowFrost having a little bit of trouble here, but manages to get through the orange blocks. A little bit of an opportunity for Busta to catch up. All right, that's one shine grab. Let's see how Busta does. Doesn't run into the same issue. Very clean. That is the Hillside Secret. One of the two easiest secrets, I would say. Some of the later secrets get pretty darn difficult, and we'll be seeing those later on in the run. So right now, another Pelota Piranha. Yay! This one is actually kind of interesting, though. So there's actually two of these guys. Once you beat the first one, another one pops up. But as you can see here, the runners are going to be backing up and fighting the second guy from afar so that they can do something called travel skip. And basically, as soon as they spray for the third hit, as ShadowFrost is about to do, they are going to turn around and beeline it back to Bianco Hills and hopefully get into the level, as you can see, while that Pelota Piranha is basically being beaten. And what that does, basically there was a cutscene playing while they were entering the level, which shows the hut rising out of the goop, which unlocks Rico Harbor. And during that, they're entering the level. So normally after that cutscene, it would warp you back to where that hut is. But if you enter the level while that cutscene is playing, then basically it will just load Bianco Hills and you won't have to travel all the way back. Because we do have to go back to Bianco Hills at some point. Otherwise, you know, we can't get to the final level because we need episode 7 to be beaten every world. But yeah, here's some red coins. This is actually a really technical shine. Really hard, and Busta taking up a lot of time here. That was looking very solid. Like ShadowFrost might get into a little bit of trouble with this Wind Spirit here. All right, manages to dodge it. Very nice. So yeah, these ropes, you can't dive onto them if you do, then Mario will hang off of them instead of standing on them. So that's why you're seeing them jump off the rope, then dive, and then before they touch down on the rope again, they're ground pounding so that you can immediately jump again. Otherwise, you have to do this really slow animation of Mario climbing back up onto the rope. And it's not a good time. It's very slow. All right, and this is going to be the last shine that we're going to see these guys complete for a while here in Bianco Hills, because it's actually optimal to move on to another level after this one. But this one is a doozy, let me tell you. It's the rematch with Petey Piranha. Petey Piranha strikes back. And we've got a different arena for the fight this time. So first of all, you got to take one of these points and wake him up just like that. And then we're going to be fighting Petey Piranha in the village over here. This time, he's not just standing around being a smug schmuck. He's actually going to fly around, and it's your job to knock him out of the air, and then he'll be standing around like a schmuck. Smug schmuck. Dang, I don't even know why I came up with that. Anyway, you can only knock him out of the air in certain spots where he will stop. Obviously, these guys, they know exactly where he's going to stop, so they're going to spray him, and he'll be knocked down before he even knows what hit him. But yeah, trust me, he was going to stop at those spots. And this fight is extremely luck-based, so incidentally, he stopped in the same spot for both runners, but he did take a different path to get there for both of them. And as you can see right now, he's going to a different spot, and ShadowFrost is actually getting very lucky here. He has a chance to get the absolute best possible pattern, whereas Basten is getting a little unlucky because from this position, Petey is guaranteed to go outside of the village, which takes a long time to come back. All right. All right, so Frosty getting almost perfect RNG, very close. Petey taking a little bit of a detour to get to his third spot, but that's really good luck. So that will put Frosty back in the lead. Very fortunate. But Busta still not too far behind. His first two spots were pretty decent, so yeah, this is looking pretty good. And a little elf whispered into my ear that we have a donation, so let's hear it, guys.
All right, we have a €2.50 donation from the plumber himself saying, "Good luck, boys. Let's make this a close race."
Heck yeah. All right, so I know what you're thinking. Another Pelota Piranha fight, but it's the last one. So just tough it out, and we'll be done with these guys. This is another double Pelota Piranha. There's no interesting skip during this one. ShadowFrost messing up a little bit there on the spray. And this race is really close. All right. So after fighting this guy, these guys are going to be heading into Gelato Beach. So the reason that you want to come here immediately, and kind of a similar deal with the previous Pelota Piranha, actually. The reason you want to go and beat them immediately instead of just staying in Bianco Hills is that whenever you leave a level and there's something going on in Delfino Plaza, there's this little cutscene that's like, oh, there's a Pelota Piranha plant here now. And that cutscene actually takes 3 seconds. So if you let all of those cutscenes play, it loses a lot of time. So you want to immediately go to the overworld event and beat it so that those cutscenes don't appear anymore. And now they're going into Gelato 1, but these guys are actually going to be completing Gelato 8. That's right. You can skip straight to the final shine of this world, and the method to do it is aptly named Gelato Beach Skip, because after doing that, they can immediately go to episode 7, and then they will be done with Gelato Beach. So let's see Busta's attempt at the skip here. Got to use that coconut to clip through this roof. Get to the shine. Ooh, it clips out of the top of that hut. Unfortunate, as ShadowFrost gets it first try, taking back the lead. All right, let's see. Oh, Busta having a bad angle there. So the thing about this particular setup, which is the most common setup, as it's the easiest, you need your angle to be perfectly straight. Otherwise, you can't run up against the coconut. You'll slide off to the side. And then there's the matter of having to time your hover and controlling your speed so that you don't clip out of the hut. And there we go. Busta gets it as well. 2 gelato beach skips for your viewing pleasure. And now we're going to be seeing another pretty quick Shadow Mario kill here. Not perfect, but still pretty good. As long as you get him while he's on the sand, it's fine. Lose like maybe a second or something. Compared to the optimal kill if you get him where ShadowFrost just got him. That does present an opportunity for Busta to win back a little bit of time. Yeah, so the general theme with Shadow Marios is that you're going to be seeing them get beaten very, very quickly. Because every one of them has some way for you to basically defeat them very, very quickly. Much more quickly than was intended by the developers. So Busta actually getting pretty much a perfect quick kill there. Saves that second. But yeah, especially through the use of spam spraying, it's very easy to, or in most cases, it's very easy to get a quick kill on Shadow Mario. But yeah, right now we're heading into Pianta Village, using a trick called Pianta Early, which ShadowFrost just did, and Busta is going to be doing right now. You're not supposed to be able to get up there without the rocket nozzle. The game developers actually went through some trouble to make it kind of hard to wall kick off of the Shine Gate, but it's still possible doing something that we call a Y-turn. But yeah, this Shine Pianta Village 1 has these chomplets running around, and their patterns are luck-based, so whenever they reach a split in the path that they're on, it's going to be random whether they, or which direction they go in. That can actually make a somewhat of a difference. The difference between best and worst RNG can be as much as 6 seconds. It's not huge, but it is a thing. Frosty having a bit of a mess up, and Busta potentially getting quite unlucky here. Did that chomplet go in? No, he turned around. That is very unfortunate. So generally when they're that close to the edge, you can basically just assume that they're gonna run into the water by themselves because they can't like turn around on a dime. And oh my lord. All right. Wow. So at the end of that shine, as soon as you've got all 3 of the chomplets in the water, you actually want to pause the game because that cancels a text box. And it's only after that text box that the shine appears. Busta accidentally hit up on his control stick, so he selected the exit area option. So he accidentally exited the level, and now he has to play it again. As, wow, ShadowFrost getting a 13-second time on the Piantissimo race. That's actually quite impressive. Not straightforward to get. But yeah, Piantissimo, he's very easy. He's similar to Koopa the Quick in Super Mario 64, except for the fact that there is no way to speed him up. He always finishes at the exact same time, about 27.5 seconds, I want to say, off the top of my head. So yeah, he's quite easy to beat, as you can tell, Frosty being about twice as fast as that. So you have a lot of leeway. There's another Piantissimo race later in the run. But yeah, neither of them are difficult at all. So they're kind of like auto-scrollers. Most people consider them an auto-scroller. But yeah, Frosty having a full shine lead now because of that little goof on Busta's part. But we still have some stuff coming up that can very, very easily level the score, so to speak. As we see Frosty doing a neat damage boost across the goop in order to beat Pianta Village 3 in record time. This is like one of the shines that has the biggest discrepancy between how a casual player would beat it and how a speedrunner beats it. So a speedrunner, you just kind of, oh yeah, there's goop here, whatever, and whoop, and you got the shine. Whereas I'm sure most people, when they were a child playing this game, you were like, what? How am I supposed to get across here? Ooh. I think Busta was trying to get like 2018 or something there, but ground pounded a little bit short. I don't think 2018 is actually possible on the timer. I think 2016 is possible. I'm not sure though, I don't remember. All right, so here we got a Chomp Part 2, bigger and better. Basically, this guy's similar to the smaller Chomps. He's also a little bit luck-based, but the only real luck factor is which direction he's facing at the start. The way he moves is actually completely deterministic. He tries to run away from Mario at all times. So by blocking off this path, you can force him to go to the pool, and then again, you can force him to go into the pool area. By grabbing the chain at the right time, you can do something called chain skip, which unfortunately ShadowFrost did not manage to do there. But what it looks like is basically, it will look like the Chomp is just entering the pool on his own. And hopefully we'll see Busta get it, as he almost dies in Beyond the Village 3, but manages to stay alive. It's actually possible to control Mario's direction to a certain extent when you're in the goop, so if you know what you're doing and there's some sort of safe spot nearby, you can usually get out unscathed. So yeah, Busta obviously having that knowledge, managing to stay alive. Lost a bit of time there, but it's no big deal. And with that, we're going to be seeing ShadowFrost heading into Pianta Village 5. And this is one of the biggest luck-based shines in the game. It's another secret level. But in order to get into the secret, actually, we're going to see these guys do something interesting. It's called Yoshi Skip. So normally, there's some special goop here covering the entrance that you need Yoshi to get rid of. But because this game does not have a very solid grasp of what walls are, you can kind of just go through the wall here and get into the secret by hovering at the right time. And Frosty gets it first try. Very good job. And then we are in the secret. And this is definitely not a fan favorite. A lot of people hate this secret, both casually and as a speedrunner, because like I said, this level is luck-based. So these guys, they don't always like to move in the best way possible. You can already see ShadowFrost losing a bit of time there, and that is going to make it extremely difficult to get the best luck on the last guy. And wow, these guys are really not giving Frosty a good time. So yeah, early cycle is out of the question here. Early cycle is something... It has to do with this final guy over here. If this guy is over on the other side of the platform where Frosty is right now, when you arrive, you can immediately get thrown to the shine. Otherwise, you have to wait for him to walk all the way around. So this would be pretty much average RNG. It's like one of the nice things, I guess. The first couple of guys, they don't really matter, except for the fact that you're not going to get early cycle, but they're never going to lose you so much time that you actually miss like a second cycle. So, you know, it's really only the final guy that matters most of the time. All right, let's see how Busta does on Yoshi Skip. All right, looking good. There we go. Whoa. Oh, no! Oh, my lord. Oh, that was unfortunate. So, yeah, I think that was unintentional that you had to turn around. Yeah, so normally you want to hover backwards into the mushroom. Also had to turn around there, which... took too long, so he didn't have enough hover left to get back into the pipe. Tried to save it by diving in, but unfortunately was too low. That is very unfortunate, and yeah. It is actually possible to recover from falling down, but it's pretty difficult. And I can't really blame anyone for not knowing how to do it because you don't really use it very often. And even if you do, it still loses like half a minute, whereas just dying loses about 45 seconds. So it's still significant, but it's not the end-all be-all of backups. It's still useful, though. Yeah, ShadowFrost playing Pianta Village 6 as Busta gets Yoshi skip on his second try. And Pianta Village 6 is a very technical shine. Got a 2:02, so generally anything above 2 minutes is considered pretty good here. The world record is 2 minutes and 18 seconds left on the timer, which is absolutely nutty. It's insane. My personal best is 2 minutes 15 left on the timer. But yeah, that level is very difficult. It uses a lot of very precise spam sprays combined with tight movement and rollouts. And oh, wow. Busta is really not having a good time on Pianta Village 5, but I believe that he can come back from this. Maybe he'll catch a break and get an early cycle on this attempt. That would be nice if we could see that in this run. Well, let's see what happens. And if we have a donation, now's a good time for that.
All right, yeah, we do. We have a €2 donation from Nandi saying, "Objection! Rosalina isn't the best waifu, it's funky. Good luck on the race, guys. Here is €2 for the hamburger the winner gets."
Objection. Yeah, so that's kind of calling back to my previous run of Sunshine at BSG when, yeah, Nandi had a very manly moment during the intro. But yeah, ShadowFrost defeating Shadow Mario in Pianta Village is going to be heading onwards to Pinna Park. And Pinna Park normally has a cutscene associated with it. Actually, it's got 3 cutscenes, but this is the first one we're going to be concerning ourselves with here. He's going to be doing a trick called Honey Skip, which consists of dying. So right now, he's out of bounds, which normally makes you die, but he's standing on a shadow, and the shadow makes you not die. So he's going to hover off of this shadow and then sidestep. And unfortunately, did not manage to get it properly here. But what was supposed to happen there is that he would have died at the same time as this cutscene being activated, and that skips the cutscene. It saves about 15 seconds. So, yeah, hopefully we'll get to see a successful honey skip from Busta in a few minutes. But right now, this is potentially a good thing, because it stands to even up this race a little bit more. Yeah, there's 2 more cutscenes in this shine. Both of them also skippable. And thank goodness they are, because they are extremely long cutscenes, and they are also very easy to skip. Probably easiest skips in the game by far. All you have to do is pause the game and select exit area. This time you do have to select exit area while you're entering the cutscene trigger. And then that will skip the cutscene. And it's quite strange. These are the only cutscenes in the game that work that way. Yeah, you can see Frosty doing it right here. He's going to pause and then exit area as he slides into the cutscene trigger. And then we're talking to the park director. Normally there would have been a cutscene. Events. 157 on Pianta Village 6. Had some trouble with the 5th Pianta. That guy can be pretty tricky, so definitely understand it. Let's see how these rocket shots are going to go for ShadowFrost. These shots are very precise. All right, looks like he got that first one. Yes. And the second one. Very good. All right, did not get the early rocket grab, but this is still a solid Mecha Bowser fight. You missed the hardest shot, and you really can't be mad about that, I'd say, because that shot is very, very difficult. Actually, I'm not saying that properly. He didn't really miss a shot, but you can collect a rocket early by spraying it while it's off screen, and then you can shoot it early. So yeah, he missed that initial grab, and that is very difficult to do. All right, as Busta gets his quick kill on Shadow Mario, let's see if he can successfully do Honey Skip. ShadowFrost is going to be heading into another secret level. This is, in my opinion, the easiest secret in the game. It's complicated a little bit by the entrance, where you have to do a trick called mole skip, but for experienced runners, mole skip is a very easy trick as well, so I don't expect to see them have any trouble here. Busta does have a little bit of trouble getting up into the tower. There we go. See that honey skip. Ah, no successful honey skip during this race. That is unfortunate. But oh well, it is what it is. Basically, the thing that would have been different is that instead of the cutscene starting, it would have just faded out like normal when Mario dies, and then on the fade-in, you would appear in the exact same position that Basten is about to appear after this cutscene has ended, which is on top of the cannon that shoots you to Isle Delfino. Looks like ShadowFrost did not have any trouble on Pinna 2, like I predicted. Straightforward shine. This next shine, though, is definitely not straightforward. This is another red coin, and it's kind of a theme that red coins are generally pretty challenging. This one even more so than the one in Bianco Hills, because there's a bunch of moving stuff and cycles that you have to take into account. So I'm actually not sure what strat these guys are going to be using, so let's see. I'm hoping for some boat hover action. Ah, no, the old school strat by ShadowFrost. All right. I do think we'll be seeing a different strat from Busta here. That should be interesting to compare between these guys. But yeah, this is the old school strat. It's the strat that I used when I started playing the game, pretty much. But, you know, it's tried and true. It's very consistent. Provided that you get the double jump or the spin jump that you want. All right, there we go. See how Busta does on these shots. Also not getting the early rocket. Like I said, that is a hard rocket to pick up. All right, both of them getting equivalent Mecha Bowser fights. All right, next up is another fan favorite of speedrunners of this game, Pinna 4. This is the shine that unlocks Yoshi, and that's actually relevant because there's a skip here in Pinna Park that requires Yoshi. If it did not require Yoshi, we would actually be able to skip most of Pinna Park. But since it requires Yoshi, and Yoshi is unlocked in episode 4, it can only skip one shine, which is unfortunate. But it's still a skip, and we're going to be seeing that after this. But first, we got to beat these Snooze-a-Koopas. So you got to wake these guys up, then you got to make them attack you. Then they have to miss you, and then they have to get stuck in the sand, and you ground pound them. So the goal here is to ground pound them all in quick succession, because every time you beat a Snooze-a-Koopa, you get a little cutscene. It's like Frosty is not going to be able to get them in one cycle here. Or will he? Oh, he will! Very nice. Good backup. So the advantage of that is that now all of these cutscenes are going to play in a row. And if that is not the case, then any Koopas that were stuck in the ground are just going to get out of the ground and start walking around again while this cutscene is playing, because it does not actually pause the game. So then you have to like get their attention again, get them to ground pound you, and then you can hit them, and it loses about 9 seconds. So yeah, definitely not something that you want to happen. Those situations like what just happened, where you have some trouble when waking them up, can be really sketchy. Frosty managing to get the one cycle anyway, very impressive. So let's see what Busta is going to be doing here on the red coins of the pirate ships. I am curious. At the same time, ShadowFrost is going to be doing the aforementioned skip, which is called Early Yoshi Go Round. Now, this one is interesting Basically, Yoshi is on the beach now, but he will not be in the park on this level because we are on episode 3. Yoshi is only in the park on episode 6, and that is because you need Yoshi in the park in order to beat episode 6. But we're going to glitch him inside of the park by kind of walking around the doorway. So the doorway is actually a load zone. We're going to get around the load zone here by using these enemies. Put through this wall. There we go. And then right here in front of us is actually a void. So the way this game works is that if there is no floor, the game will not allow you to go there. So there's actually no floor here. But by creating a platform, we are creating a floor so we can go onto this area. And then this merry-go-round actually does have a floor. So you can get off the platform over at the merry-go-round, get Yoshi into his correct position, and enter the secret. And that skips episode 5, because this secret is part of episode 6. So the reason that that skip is like really weird is a couple of reasons. First of all, you need an orange Yoshi, but you need a purple platform, which you need a purple Yoshi for. Because purple platforms are the only ones that move forwards. So you gotta like juggle some fruits, make sure Yoshi is the correct color at all times, and then get through that void and get to the secret. And that was a pretty clean secret from ShadowFrost. Busta had some trouble on his Spinner 3. Fell down from the boats, which is unfortunate. Like I said, it's not a straightforward level. We saw both of these guys using different strats having some trouble on it. So, yeah, I think that is a testament to the relative difficulty of that shine. Let's see if Busta get the one cycle here on Pinna 4 as well. Looks like he does not have any trouble waking these guys up at the very least. Now let's see how he handles the aggro. Looking a little shaky here. But he gets it. Very nice. All right, another quick kill on Shadow Mario here by ShadowFrost. That wraps up Pinna Park for him. There are now 20 shines into the game. We collect 44 shines in the current route of this category. So almost halfway there in terms of shine count. Definitely halfway there in terms of time because the start of the game has all those cutscenes that waste a lot of time. So with that, let's head into Rigo Harbor. Rigo Harbor generally considered to be the world in Super Mario Sunshine. There's really only 1 or 2 places that you can die here, and a lot of the shines are pretty straightforward. So the first shine here is a boss fight against Gooper Blooper. Now, he's a pretty straightforward boss. He does have a little introduction cutscene here. Let's see how Busta does on his OIG. Gets banana, which is good luck. Alright, so those papayas are to make Yoshi orange. This durian is to make him purple. We use fruit storage here, which is a technique that cannot be done on the Japanese version of the game, but it actually makes this skip a little bit faster. Alright, gets through the wall and gets that platform. Alright, looking smooth. A little bit of a weird angle here, but he's going to make it onto that merry-go-round. As ShadowFrost has already wrapped up the Gooper Blooper fight. Like I said, pretty straightforward. The game intends for you to pull off all of Gooper Blooper's tentacles before you attack him. He's supposed to like smack you while you're trying to fight him, but if you time grabbing his mouth just right, he'll just be helpless and he won't be able to smack you at all. So just go straight for his mouth if you know what you're doing, and turns it into a very quick fight. You only have to hit him 2 times. It's kind of uncharacteristic for a Mario boss fight, but it is what it is. I guess Mecha Bowser is similar in that you have to hit him 4 times instead of 3. Also unusual for a Mario boss. So this is Blooper Surfing Safari. But we're not going to be seeing any bloopers, I don't think. Right now we're heading into the Safari without a blooper. And inside of the Safari, it's actually also optimal not to use a blooper if you know what you're doing. See how that goes. Oh, okay. ShadowFrost is going to use a blooper here. I do fully expect Busta to go blooperless. So we'll be seeing that in a few minutes. He gets there. All right, so here, this is a little shortcut. In a way, this is the real shortcut, but you have to hit a checkpoint over on that other spot, which is why he kind of had to go out of his way just to collect that checkpoint. There's only 2 checkpoints here, so yeah, you can really just skip a large portion of this track. All right, so we're seeing a 2-shine lead here for ShadowFrost. But after Rico Harbor, there's a lot more opportunities for the lead to switch hands. And actually, it might even happen in Rico Harbor because there is one level in here that's actually kind of hard. You know, small mistakes can really mess up your day in this game if you make those mistakes in the wrong places. So you never know. Busta's been on the short end of the stick so far when it comes to those mistakes, but you never know what might happen. So that was Rico 3 by ShadowFrost. Very quick and easy. Just hover under the cage, get in through the bottom. Very nice that Nintendo put that grate there. It's there to stop people from getting stuck inside the cage, but yeah, it can also be used as an alternate way to get in, which is pretty funny. All right, so now for the Tower Secret. This ranks as one of the harder secrets in the game. Probably the 3rd hardest, I would say. 2nd or 3rd hardest. Depends on who you ask, really. Yeah, the thing that makes this secret challenging is the fact that there's almost no stationary solid ground. You're running along these moving logs or these cogs for almost the entirety of it. And that's the thing about this game. You can't buffer your dives or your rollouts, so it's really easy to mistime them on these moving platforms. ShadowFrost almost slides off there and barely gets onto that peg. Dang, that was a sketchy Rico 4, but he manages to bring it home. So kudos to you. All right, let's be seeing about that fully blooperless Rico 2 now over on Basten screen. The Safari. Let's see how this goes. So you actually just jump on that guy for being a blooper abuser. And you go up here. There's a little bit of a mistake there. You have to do a glitchy wall kick hover, which basically means that you're pressing Y while wall kicking, which makes you wall kick in the opposite direction that you normally would. And then you're immediately hovering. Unfortunately, your hover can kind of interrupt the Y button press, which puts you into over-the-shoulder camera mode. So when that happens, you will be put into over-the-shoulder camera once your hover stops and you land on the ground, which unfortunately loses a bunch of time there. And yeah, the Gooper Blooper rematch for ShadowFrost, the exact same fight in the speedrun, pretty much. It's a little different if you're like playing casually because Blooper does actually have some different moves. But yeah, if you just interrupt him immediately, he can't use those moves. And it's basically the exact same fight, with the exception of the fact that you have to pull on his mouth for a little bit longer. It got a bit more stretchy due to the abuse that it already received the first time around. Ooh, that's a low hover there, but it was still high enough. Very good. We'll get to see how Busted does on that Rico 4 secret. And here we do have some mandatory blooper surfing. I'm sure it's possible to complete this shine without using the bloopers, but it's definitely very slow. So we're going to be using the green blooper here once again, as the green blooper is objectively the best blooper. So the difference between these bloopers is in their cornering and in their speed when you're not holding forward on the control stick. So the green blooper is actually very slow if you're not holding up on the control stick, whereas the pink blooper always goes full speed and the yellow blooper is somewhere in the middle. But if you press forward or up on the control stick, then all the bloopers have the same speed. So the superior handling of the green blooper makes it objectively the best. That's why you will see pretty much everyone use the green blooper on that shine. Alright, Rico 4 looking pretty solid here. Very good, gets that blue cycle. And the green cycle on the last log. Very nice. All right, so this is probably the easiest shine in the game, Rico 7. Shadow Mario is extremely straightforward to quick kill because he has the decency to just walk up this nice little ramp for us here. And that just puts him perfectly in position to get sprayed while you walk behind him. So generally, the problem with Shadow Mario is when you're not spam spraying is that it's very easy to spray over top of him. Or to the sides of him, but here he's just walking in a straight line up a slope, so it's impossible to shoot over top of him. Yeah, it just becomes very easy to get a quick kill. Yeah, Rico Harbor is the shortest world that actually gets fully completed, quote unquote fully. Obviously, referring to all 7 shines, episode 1 through 7. So yeah, that's why the shine lead kind of looks like it has increased, but shines are just pretty short in Rico Harbor. All right, so now is the time when we're going to be seeing these guys finish up the rest of Bianco Hills. And first of all is another secret, and this is another decently difficult one. The Dirty Lake secret. Actually, I really like this entrance. Kind of slide off of this high ledge and then pretty much hover to the secret entrance. I think it looks pretty cool. Just circumvent all of that dirty water. And so the tricky thing about this secret is twofold. First of all is this, clearing this gap using the wall kick here. Very good. That's the old boy strat. There are some different ways to get across that gap now, which are a little bit faster potentially, but hey, if it works, it works. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And then there's this ending section here. Let's see how that goes. These panels can be quite treacherous, but ShadowFrost gets across, no problemo. Very good. Yeah, that's a hard secret. Always feels good when you can get past it without dying, especially when you're on a good pace. I know I've definitely had many occasions where I was just extremely nervous on that shine. I'm also having a little bit of trouble here with that 8th red coin. It can be quite difficult to recover when missing a coin, but Fortunately, once again, Green Blooper proving he's best because in a pinch you can just slow down by not holding up on the control stick. That makes it a lot easier to maneuver yourself around to grab the coin. ShadowFrost gets that Shadow Mario without too much trouble. There is actually a extremely fast quick kill that's almost instant on this guy, but it's pretty difficult. Can't blame him for not trying, because you could definitely lose a lot of time on that if you mess it up too badly. There's a lot of strats like that in this game, which are like kind of high risk, low reward. Shadow Mario deciding, oh, you want me to go to the left? Nah, dog, I'm gonna go to the right. So this is actually what people used to do back in the day, chase him over here because that's where the bananas are, right? But that tree on the left actually also has a banana in it, so it's faster. Ooh. Wow, that was strange. Looked like you buffered the pineapple, but yeah, that was strange. Anyway, gets into Serena Beach. Yeah, this shine is where the power of spam sprays is very apparent. We're going to be fighting Phantom Manta, the sea pancake himself. And yeah, the way you beat this guy is just by spraying a whole bunch of water on him, and he'll split into smaller pieces. You got to spray those, etc., until they're all gone. And without spam spraying, this fight is a royal pain in the butt. But with spam sprays, it's a little bit better. So, you see a lot of water flying all over the place. It's a very effective way to deal with this guy. So as soon as all of these guys are, like, small, there are no bigger mantas left, these are all going to turn purple, as you can see. And now they are in aggressive mode, so now they're all going to be coming after Mario, which obviously makes it a lot easier to spray them, because otherwise they're just going all over the place. But if they're all coming towards you, it's obviously a lot easier to find them. So the general objective here is to get into this aggressive mode as quickly as possible. Yeah, it can be pretty challenging because the Manta's movements are very random in the early phases of the fight. It's like Busta getting a clean Bianco 6. Very good. Oh yeah, Phantom Manta definitely not the nicest fight. Frosty manages to get him down without too much trouble. Collects that shine. All right, let's see how Bianco 7 goes here for Busta. Saw a pretty quick kill from Frosty. Let's see if we can get a repeat, or maybe even an improvement to that. All right, looking about the same. No shame in that. This is one of those shines that, in general, it seems like very few people are like very good at it. I'm seeing most people getting Shadow Mario inside of that little water stream, but it's actually possible to get him on top of the hill before the start of that water stream, even without using any like crazy spam spraying strats. But yeah, it's pretty difficult. Wow, another Shadow Mario to the right. These guys are really unlucky, I have to say. It is determined by your positioning, but I mean, both of them were coming in from the right, so logic dictates that Shadow Mario should have gone to the left, but he just didn't. Didn't care. Really weird. ShadowFrost looked like had a little bit of trouble getting into the secret, but I don't think he lost too much time off of it. These blocks are a pain, let me tell you. You actually have to side flip like in place a couple of times there, and for some reason, side flipping is just one of those things in this game that's not very nice. It tends to not work very well, so Yeah. Luckily, didn't have any trouble with it. Little bit of a sketchy ending there. No momentum spin. Probably be seeing Busta go for the momentum spin. Saves a few seconds at the end of this arena too. See how Busta's Manta fight goes. Can definitely save some time here over Frosty. Doing the more common strat, going down here instead of standing on the staircase. Looking pretty good. Fortunately gets hit. Yeah, this is the real struggle when there's still a couple of big mantas left and you don't know where they are. It can be really annoying to find them. But yeah, I've definitely seen much worse mantas in my days. So let's have a look at Frosty here. He's going to do something called banana split, which is using this banana. Go right through this wall here. There you go. And get the shine. So normally that shine, the big old wild goose chase, trying to find a pineapple for Yoshi, navigating gigantic maze inside of the hotel. But with banana split, go through the wall and you got yourselves a shine. Yay. Pretty cool. Very easy trick to learn as well. So, you know, if you need some gaming party tricks to impress your friends, that's definitely a candidate in addition to the Rico 7 quick kill. Alright, and with that, ShadowFrost gonna head into the second secret level. It's Arena Beach, which is the casino secret. And the casino secret ordinarily is really annoying because you gotta play these dumb mini games in the casino. But, you know, as we determined earlier, this game does not really know how walls work, so we can get up and over and through the wall over here. And it skips all of those luck-based mini games, gets you straight into the secret, like so. The secret, not terribly difficult, but does not have a lot of room for error. So see how it goes. Alright, looking pretty solid so far. This ending bit can get interesting. I doubt we're gonna see a momentum spin here. Yeah. Bossy just gonna do the triple jump dive. Let's see if Bustin opts to do the momentum spin at the end of Serena 2. Sneaky ledge grab there. Alright. So, when you roll out onto a sloped surface, you keep your speed from the dive. Very nice. You keep your speed from the rollout, I guess, while you're running. And is what we call having momentum. And then you can also do a spin jump while you have momentum, and that's called a momentum spin. And that is what Busta just did at the end there on that rotating cog platform. And it basically allows you to clear a huge gap with a single jump. And that actually saves about 2 to 3 seconds at the end of that level, so very good. And he got that there. As ShadowFrost is going to be heading into the final major luck-based shine of the game, which is the King Boo boss fight. Now, this guy tends to be nice. There's about 1/3 chance of this fight being perfect, and another 1/3 of it having only one extra cycle. But, you know, occasionally this guy will just ruin your day. So let's hope that that doesn't happen here for our runners. The way you fight this guy is you got to spin his slots, get fruits, and then throw a pepper at him, and then throw another fruit at him. You start the fight off in a state where it's possible to get fruit, but then once you get fruit, you need to get something that is not fruit immediately after. Otherwise, you won't be able to get fruit again. So right now, that was the mandatory non-fruit cycle, and it looks like ShadowFrost is getting lucky because he immediately got fruit again. Whenever it's possible to get fruits, there is a 70% chance that you actually get them, and a 30% chance that you don't. So yeah, that 30% can really mess you up. I think the most extra cycles that anyone's ever gotten is like 8 or 9, but yeah, it loses about 7 or 8 seconds per extra cycle, so as you can imagine, that loses a ton of time. Let's see if we get the perfect RNG, and yes, he does. All right. Well, I have to say that at this point, it means that this is ShadowFrost's race to lose. It's going to be all down to his gameplay right now. Whether he will be able to take this race home. It's definitely not over yet. The final world, Noki Bay, as well as the final level in the game, Corona Mountain, are both solid candidates to lose some big time on. Unfortunately, Busta kind of coming up short on that spin jump dive, which is kind of an easy mistake to make, to be honest. Very unfortunate, though. Loses a lot of time to die in the middle of that secret. Yeah, let's see if we get a momentum spin here. Doesn't look like it. Gonna take it safe. I can respect the decision after everything that's already happened in this run. All right, and once more, Serena Beach, eager to demonstrate the power of spam spraying. Now, this level is actually interesting because it's different on the Japanese version of the game. In the Japanese version, the requirement for clearing this level is a lot more strict, meaning you have to clear more goop. To the point where sometimes it will just look like there's no goop left, but you haven't finished the level, which is kind of a weird thing about the goop in this game. Sometimes there will be goop, but you can't see it, which is really bad in this level. So for the international release of the game, Nintendo made this level a lot easier. So as you can see, there was a lot of goop left in a bunch of places, but yeah, I still finished the level, no problemo. On the Japanese version, that definitely would not fly. Like, you have to clear almost every little bit of goop, otherwise the game's just gonna be like, nope, you are not done here. Get back to work, Mario. All right, let's see if Busta can get similar luck on King Boo. I sure hope so. Having a little bit of trouble there with the cycle cancel at the start of the fight. All right, gets fruit on the first cycle. That's good. As ShadowFrost is going to head into the hotel to take care of Shadow Mario. It's actually one of the trickier quick kills. So he kind of zigzags here, and you don't start in a great position. But it gets him before the stairs. It's definitely solid. And that leaves only one more world for ShadowFrost, in addition to the final level. All right, Busta also on perfect RNG so far. It's a nice durian there. The durians are really nice because kicking a durian is a lot faster than picking up fruit and throwing it. So if you get a durian in a good spot, it saves a bunch of time. All right, Noki one, very technical level. Lots of hard movement. So let's see how it goes for Frosty here. Busta getting the extra cycle there. Unfortunate. Definitely not what he needed right now. All right, yeah, that wall kick can be kind of tough to angle properly. All right, gets a second try. All right, Busta only getting one extra cycle, luckily, so not the end of the world. That's average RNG. On average, you get one extra cycle on King Boo. All right, ShadowFrost getting up to the top here. Not too much trouble. It's that one little wall kick issue. And this mole you cannot skip. Whoa. That was a sick dodge on that blob. Good job. Yeah, this mole you cannot skip. You have to beat him. No secret in this mole's cannon. You just gotta beat him. Get the shine. Waterfall. Alright, so ShadowFrost had a 219 on Serena 6. Let's see how Busta can compare here. Like what I would consider a really good time here on the PAL version would be 2 minutes and 27 seconds left on the timer. But anything above like 224 I would consider good for sure. See how he does. A little bit of trouble with that spot. Frosty is doing Noki 2. It starts off similar to Noki 1, having to make your way up the cliff. Then it kind of becomes a little different. Oh wow, Busta having some trouble with this goop here. Jeez. Alright, 216. Wow. Even on the PAL version, you can get screwed over sometimes if you don't see the goop. But yeah, ShadowFrost here, gonna do this spring clip. Ordinarily in this shine, you have to fight Gooper Blooper, yes, again, but the shine is actually already in the level. Fighting Gooper Blooper just opens the path to get to the shine. But luckily, using that spring, you can clip through the wall and you can just get there without having to fight him. Now, some of you may say there was a huge hole in the wall. Why don't you just go through the hole? That hole in the wall actually has an invisible barrier, which, in my opinion, wasn't very fair of the game developers, but that's how it is, I guess. How it is. All right. Seeing red coins in a bottle. This is kind of a tutorial level. It's supposed to teach you about the underwater hover mechanic, which is only used in Noki Bay, and let me tell you, definitely not my favorite mechanic in the game. The underwater controls are pretty awkward. But yeah, being good at them is very important for this shine and the next shine. The next shine in particular, because it's quite easy to die on that one if you don't know what you're doing. At least in a speedrun setting. Yeah, collecting these red coins is fairly trivial in and of itself, but it's actually really hard to optimize. Very hard shine to do consistently quickly. But yeah, it looked pretty decent. Frosty there. Let's see how Busta does on Noki 1. Some trouble there. Alright, does a better job on these wall kicks, that's for sure. Side flip strat there, cheeky with that camera angle for sure. Alright, that looked pretty darn good. Not the fastest possible cycle due to the mistakes at the start, but that was definitely pretty sexy Noki 1. Alright, so ShadowFrost now heading into the eel boss fight. The underwater boss. This guy is pretty hard. I'm expecting a 5-tooth. But it's possible to do something called 6-tooth. Which basically it comes down to the start of this fight. You can clean the eel's front teeth without him like reacting to it. But once you start cleaning his corner teeth, he's gonna try to eat Mario. And by cleaning these teeth in a specific way and doing it quickly enough, you can actually clean an extra tooth, which is what 6-tooth ends up being. Yeah, that's 4. That'll be 5. All right, so 5-tooth, like I predicted. And now after every tooth, ShadowFrost is gonna clean. We're gonna be seeing the eel spin and then try to eat Mario. And that's the only way to prevent him from going down. You have to hover into his mouth and get him to try to eat Mario. Otherwise, he's going to retreat into his little hole in the ground, and it loses a bunch of time. And at the end there was actually a cutscene skip. So normally what's happening right now would be a cutscene, and control gets taken away from Mario. But by taking damage before that cutscene starts, it actually skips the cutscene due to the invincibility frames. Which is really weird, and once again, this is the only cutscene in the game that works that way. But it works. And it doesn't actually, you know, skip the cutscene because the eel is still, like, you know, going away or whatever. But normally, if you lose control during that sequence, it puts Mario up at the very top of the area again. So you have to fall all the way down to get the shine. Whereas skipping it allows Mario, or allows you to stay in control of Mario, and that makes you able to go to where the shine is going to be. You'll be able to grab it immediately. It saves about 15 seconds, which is a really nice time save. I'll be interested to see how Basten's eel fight is going to go, as Frosty is dealing with the auto-scroller that is Piantissimo once again. This Piantissimo is, like, insultingly slow. Like, he's so easy to beat. Like, look at him. He's just casually swimming. Not a care in the world. Oh yeah, such is the nature of El Piantissimo. He does actually get faster if you beat him. Just something that I'm pretty sure Koopa the Quick did not do in Super Mario 64. So that's actually pretty cool. He does get pretty fast if you beat him under a certain time. To the point where he actually becomes pretty difficult to beat. But yeah, the first time is always really easy. And luckily, you only have to beat him once. It's actually kind of strange to me that there's, like, no extra shines for beating, like, Piantissimo's best times. I always thought that was kind of weird. Felt like it would make sense to me. Alright, so ShadowFrost now heading into the final secret level, and this is generally considered to be the hardest secret level as well. So let's see how it goes. This is Noki 6. Also known as Choki 6 or Noki Choki. Because people tend to choke runs here a lot. A hard level. Let's see how it goes. Looking decent so far. Like another 5-tooth eel from Basten. Alright, well. Pretty conservative Noki 6, but it looks like Frosty got through it in one piece, which is the most important thing. So good job, Frosty. And that leaves only 2 more shines, the Shadow Mario in Noki Bay, and the final level. Looks like Basten missing the cutscene skip, unfortunately. That cutscene skip can be tricky. It's easy to mess up. If your positioning is a little bit off, you won't take damage from the tooth. And if you're on the Japanese version, you can actually get messed up by taking air damage. Because the damage that you take from air gives you very little invincibility frames. Japanese version, only like a few frames. So it's almost impossible to get that cutscene skip. Because you need the invincibility frames. You have to use the tooth. To get air damage, it cuts off the tooth damage. Pretty nice sync there, collecting that shine almost at the same time. But yeah, Frosty is into the final level. And he's on pretty decent pace, actually. I'm curious what the time is going to be on this. So yeah, once you've beaten Shadow Mario in every world, the flood happens. For some reason, Reports are kind of contradictory, actually. If you talk to the NPCs in the game, some of them say that the water is coming out of Corona Mountain, but when you go into Corona Mountain, there's just a bunch of lava. And then later on, after you've beaten the game, actually, there will be a little scrolling message in the plaza which says that the rise of the water level was caused by downpours, which would mean that it rained really heavily. It's a weird story, for sure. But yeah, Corona Mountain, definitely not a nice place. Pretty much everything here is instant kill. The spikes are instant kill. The lava is instant kill. The fire is usually an instant kill, unless you get very lucky. And oh my lord. All right. So Frosty attempting speedboat there. Did not get it. Let's see if he can live here. It's definitely possible, but unfortunately gets into a butt slide there on that stalagmite. Very unfortunate. But yeah, the boat, I'm sure many people have maybe even traumatizing memories of that thing. Not the greatest thing in the world. Speedrunners generally get off okay. Most of them don't consider the boat to be too challenging. But it's still something that, you know, if you make a little mistake, you can mess it up. And in some situations, that can be very hard to back up. But yeah, it is actually possible to get all the way across without using the boat at all, but yeah, it's pretty difficult. All right, so let's see how this attempt goes on that. That looking a lot better. But crashing the boat, this time in a better spot, though. I'm sure ShadowFrost knows the proper backup for this. There we go. There's the forwards boatless backup. All right, this should be fine. Yeah, there we go. All right, very nice. Let's see how Busta's Noki 6 goes. Oh, that's unfortunate. Trying to go for the green cycle there. I like it. It's a gutsy move. Fortunately, did not pay off. All right, just get the blue cycle here. There you go. Didn't die, though, which is nice. Gotta watch out for those pegs. All right. Let's watch this final boss fight. So time is when he ground pounds the final peg, which is the 5th one. I'll call it out when it happens. You just gotta ground pound all 5 of these targets. If you do it quickly enough, and your positioning is good, then basically Bowser can't really do anything to you. Unless you get unlucky with the water here that's flying out of the pool. It can hit you in midair and mess you up. All right, one more hit left after this one. Let's do it. And time. Finishing with a time of 1:21.52. You were on 1:20 pace until you died in Corona Mountain. It was potentially a PB. So, really good run. Congratulations. And let's see how Busta does on the final level. Yeah, Busta having a couple of unfortunate deaths in this run. It's just the nature of the game. The hard levels tend to also be the one that punish you the most for making mistakes, which is one of the things that makes this game very brutal. And, you know, just making a mistake in the wrong places can really lose you a lot of time. And I think the difference between these two guys was that we saw a lot more safer strats on ShadowFrost's side, which, you know, those strats are slower. But yeah, if you're doing faster strats and you end up dying a few times because of it, you still end up losing the race, unfortunately. Yeah, a couple of things that happened very early in the run were not down to any differences in strats. It was just what I would call bad luck, pretty much. Like, it's not really luck, but, you know, certain mistakes, it's just like, oh man, I never messed that up. Why did it have to happen now? That definitely happened a few times, I think. Yeah, so at the end here, actually, I did not mention this earlier. This is called rocket buffering. You can actually, like, stack multiple rockets and then fire them all at once. And it actually amplifies the strength of the rockets. So instead of having to rocket 4 times there, you only charge 2 rockets, and then you just go up to the top in one go. And it looks really cool. And saves much time, so really nice. All right, we saw a pretty clean final fight from Frosty. Let's see if we can get another from Basten. Should be finishing under estimate here. Missing the first hit. That's okay. Bowser was fine just waiting around from the looks of it. That was a very low ground bound. All right, 2 more hits. All right, final one. Ready on time. Time! The swag kill. Very good. Guys, yeah. Frosty, congrats on the win. Busta, really good race. We had some unfortunate things happening on your side, but I think that you definitely showed that you're both really good runners. So yeah, that was Super Mario Sunshine Any Percent. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. If you like this game, check out the Twitch directory for it. There's a bunch of active runners. Follow these guys, ShadowFrost and Gewoon Busta. Oh, it's just Busta? Just Busta. That's what Gewoon Busta means as well. So, yeah. No, I know. I didn't realize you got a name change. Anyway, they'll put the runners' channels in the chats. You'll be fine. Just click the link. But yeah, that was it. Let's go on to the next run. Thank you guys for watching.